Hi guys, Miss K here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this super cute black cat nail art that's perfect for Halloween time. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. So the first thing I'm doing is going in with my base coat. This one is by Beetles. I love the Beetles gel polishes. I think that they're just really smooth and they work well for me, so I just really like them. So I'm going to be using this on all 10 of her nails just as my base for the nail art that we're going to be applying, so that way we can make sure that none of it peels off or chips off or anything like that. So after I do this on all 10 of her nails, I'm going to have her cure it in the light for about 1 minute, and then we're going to go in with the nail art. So first things first, I'm going in with my Saviland painting gels, and I will link them in the description box below. So if you like what you see, you can get your hands on them too. But I'm using my Macart liner brush in the number 3. This is my favorite nail art brush, honestly. It works so well. And I'm just going along the outline of the nail. So I'm basically tracing the border with the black polish. And I want the inside of the outline to be rounded. So I get as close to the cuticle as I can, and I make sure that I go all the way to the free edge of the fingernail, and then I round out the inside of the tracing. I'm not really that good at explaining what I'm doing, but you guys can see what I'm doing. So I just make sure that it's a nice little circle, and I do that on all 10 of the nails, but in between literally each fingernail I cure it. So I'm gonna trace the outline here, and then I will go back in and smudge the inner line of the border, so that way it kind of gives it more of like a smokier feel, or like an aura type of vibe. I don't really know how to explain that either, but it's kind of like an ombre deal. So after I draw the circle or the border on her fingernail, I'm going to take a different brush. It's kind of like an angled brush a little bit, and I'm just going to use that to like dot around the inner border and smear it out, so it kind of fades that inner line, as you can see that I'm doing here. And then I'm going to go back in after I'm done with this, and I will make that outer borderline, the one that we first originally did, I'm gonna make it darker and more defined. So I got some on her finger there, so I'm just gonna clean that up with some acetone and a French tip brush. That's what I like to use to clean it up. And you can use alcohol, it works the same. But now you see I'm going back in with that black polish, and I'm going around the border to kind of darken it up. And then I thought that maybe if I added some lines with the brush, it would kind of give it more of the ombre faded look that I was going for, but it didn't really do that. This was my first time doing this kind of design, so everything is really trial and error with nail art. Some of the techniques that you try to use will work, and some of them will not work at all. So just, try out different things. Sometimes actually in this one I do try different techniques on like every finger, and by the 3rd finger I've got it down on what I like. So I'm just cleaning up the edges, and then after I get this looking how I want it to, so darker around the outer border and then kind of fades inward some, then I'm going to have her cure that in the light for a minute or 2 while I draw it on her other pinky. Then I go in and I do the exact same process. I use my black painting gel and I go along the border first, and then this time you see I'm using the brush to kind of bring out the color a little bit. So I'm using my liner brush to do this. I didn't really like how it looked because it wasn't giving what it was supposed to be giving, if that makes sense. So then I go back in and I kind of smudge it out with this brush again, this angled one, and I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, that looks better. But I still have to go in and apply more of the black painting gel around the border just to darken it back up and make it a little bit more defined. And then I'm going to clean around the edge just like this again, and I just continue to do this same process. So I darken up the border and then I smudge it out a little bit, trying to get that ombre effect, and then I have her cure it in the light. So now going in with my white painting gel by Savillon also, I'm going to be creating a smile line. So this you kind of have to do like perfectly. It's kind of a crescent moon. Like if you turn it to the side, it looks like a crescent moon, but straightforward, it's just a smile line, and it's real thin on the sides and then it goes thicker in the middle. So I'm just drawing this up, and then in between each little French smile line type situation, I have her cure it. So I draw this in the middle of the nail, but you don't want it to be too low because you still want to be able to see the little bit of ombre in the black at the bottom of the nail. So I just get it real nice and precise, and as you guys can see, I use my pinky to balance my hand so it's not shaking or anything. And then I'm going to do the same process on all of her nails on this hand, and then I'll have her cure it in the light. And then I go and do the same process on all of her nails on the other hand, and then I have her cure it in the light. So since this design was a little bit easier and the white painting gel doesn't really move like the black painting gel, I don't know why, it's a little thinner so it moves a lot. But the white painting gel is thicker so it doesn't move, so I can paint it on all of the nails and then have her cure it and not have to worry about that it started to like blossom, if that makes sense. The black painting gel does like as if you had put blooming gel down beforehand, so you have to work quickly with it, otherwise it'll start to just like blur out on you. So here I am, almost done creating all of these little smile lines, and how I do it, I start at the corner and then I bring it in so that way I can get it to a nice little curve, and then I do the exact same thing for the bottom half of the little smile line. Now on this one I did mess it up a little bit because I took it too far over, but all I did was go in with some acetone and then I just cleaned that up. Okay, so as you guys could just see, I picked out a little hair and then I smudged it. So I'm going to go back in with that French tip brush and I'm just going to clean up my edges. Then I'll go back in with my painting gel and really crispen the lines up. So like I was saying, nail art is sometimes trial and error. Sometimes you get it perfect on that first try, sometimes you don't, but don't let that discourage you. Just go back in and erase your mistakes and then, you know, perfect it. So no worries, don't give up if you mess up a little bit. Just keep on practicing and then you'll get it down. So now I'm done with that one and I'm finally on her thumb, and we're gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing. So I'll let you guys watch this and then I'll be back. Alright, so now onto the kitty cats. I'm using a dotting tool and that black painting gel, and I'm creating a larger dot right above the little smile line that we created, and then I'm putting a smaller dot right above that. Then I go in with my Macart liner brush with the tiniest amount of black paint on it, and I'm drawing out the little ears to the kitty from the top of the head. So I just go from that top dot and then I pull it out, and then for the tail I just make a little backwards S. So it's literally as simple as that. It's super easy, and then I do that exact same thing on all of them. So we do a big dot, then we do a little dot right above that connected to the big dot. Then I take my Macart liner brush and I pull two little ears out from the top of the head. So, oh well, I guess I did the tail first here. So it's just a backwards S, a little like curved line a little bit. And then I draw the two ears straight out from the top of the kitty's head, and that's it. I have her cure that. Then I go in with my French tip brush, which has a dotting tool on the other end, and I'm creating these little dots so that way I can make these stars. And I just go from the center of the dot and go out. So down, across, down, and across. On this one, some of them I had to come back in, add a little bit more gel because the dot wasn't big enough. But that's literally it, y'all. So I do that on all of these little dots. Some of them I put the dots first on all of the nails and then came back in and drew the little stars. And then other ones I put the dots, then drew the stars, then put the dots, then drew the stars. But you can really do it whichever process works for you. And see, I put another dot there. I just felt like it needed it. Then I have this big dot here, so I'm gonna go ahead and create my little cross on this finger. Or, well, I guess it kind of is a cross, but it's to make these like stars appear like they're shining. So here I am putting the dots on, dot dot. And it's really easy. I just put like 7 to 9 dots on the nail, and then on 2 or 3 of the little dots I make them into the stars, so that way it looks like they're shining. And this looks so cute. I love this design. It's beautiful. And I thought that it was gonna be like too much because I'm like on all 10 of your nails, but it actually looks really cute. So now I'm going in with my Beetles top coat. This is my favorite top coat. Honestly, all of the Beetles polishes are my favorite. So base coat, top coat, matte coat, they're all my favorite. So I'm applying the shiny top coat on all 10 of her nails, and then I'm gonna have her cure that in the light for 2 minutes total, so that way I can make sure that it's nice and cured all the way through all of the polishes. Even though I do cure in between each detail, I like to make sure that I give a good 2-minute cure at the very end of my nail art, so I can make sure that it's gonna stay. Then I apply her cuticle oil, and this is the finished product, you guys. I really hope you liked it. I hope you learned something, and if you did, like this video, subscribe to my channel for any future posts, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.